There's a reason why there's a term called generational trauma. And there's a reason why it's important to become aware of that so you could break the chain. I'm sure you've heard that, right? It's up to you to break the cycle. And a lot of people know that they don't want to carry on some certain traits or things that have happened to them into their now, and especially not hand them down to their children. In fact, I would say no parent that is even the slightest bit aware of who they are wants to inflict pain. But we do this. A lot of us do this subconsciously because we learn to give love the way we were taught love. And our inner being, the piece of you that is always connected to source, knows what true unconditional love feels like. So when we get conditional love or even abuse from those that are meant to guide us, is very confusing to the system. It is almost mind-boggling to the system as to why that would be. And so we try to rationalize it in our head. And a lot of us rationalize it by assuming, well, I'm not worthy. If I was worthy, would I have been born to this? If I was worthy, wouldn't my parents love me more? If I was worthy, why would I be treated like this? So I must not be important. I must not be deserving. And then we start to tell ourselves that story and that narrative. Now, the longer you've told that story, the harder it is to break the cycle, because beliefs are nothing but repetitive thoughts. But if you've been repeatedly telling yourself those negative thoughts, it has now become a belief structure and part of your personality. And it's a little bit harder to stop the forward momentum when you have years and years and years geared towards that belief. So it's not just as easy as saying, okay, I forgive myself, I forgive whoever, and tomorrow I'm going to wake up and I'm going to believe I'm worthy. And everything's going to change overnight. That is the beginning point, yes. And from that launching point, you will get there. But it is a step-by-step process when you have given a lot of negative momentum and thought towards a belief. So it's not just be happy one day, my life will change. It has to be a consistent process, because what you're consistently changing is the way that you think about yourself, the pre-programmed thought. So it takes practice to tell yourself, I am worthy, I am loved, I am deserving. That should not have happened, but it did happen. But that's not who I am, and that's certainly not who I'm becoming. That was a moment in time, but not the definition of my life. That does not define me. I am bigger than that, and I know that. It takes practice to continually pull yourself back to alignment, to continually pull yourself back. But I promise if you get consistent in it, within months, you'll notice a significant difference. Not just in the way you feel emotionally, but physically and in your external environment. Because people will start responding to you differently, and life will start responding to you differently, because you're slowly moving your point of attraction by telling yourself and reminding yourself of who you really are. And that's Spirit's guidance on how to move up the emotional scale and out of trauma. It is also the way you break the chain, because you can't give love that you don't feel for yourself. And so if you're not loving yourself and your internal dialogue is one of hatred of self, no matter how much you want to give love to others, it won't come out authentically. Because children hear not what their parents say. They hear what their parents mean. Children are highly intuitive, and so are you when you were a child, and so are you now, once you remove all of the layers of programming that's happened from childhood to now. But children can feel the emotional vibrations in the home that they're living in. They have natural protective mechanisms, and their guides are with them at all times. So it will help guide them through it. But we pick up on that. As children, we pick up on that. So that's why they say it's not effective parenting skill to say, do what I say, but not what I do. Because your children, they hear actions. They do not hear your words. They feel the emotion. They can feel that love from you and that hatred. And a lot of times, the emotions that they're feeling isn't even about them. It's about the parent and how they're feeling about themselves, and how evolved they are, and how awake they are, and how well they're able to use their own guidance system. It's hard to not want to play the blame game, but you have to understand that everybody is doing the best that they can with where they are. And parents, even though misguided, are still doing the best they can from where they are. So it doesn't serve you to hold grudges or to feel like I should have had better. Yes, you should have, but they couldn't give you something they didn't have. But what you can do is you can look onto that experience and you could say, I know exactly who I want to be and who I don't want to be based on my observation of what happened to me when I was little. And I'm going to use that as a jumping off point to decide who I'm going to become for my children. And I'm going to break the cycle. And I'm going to do it by loving myself first and foremost, and taking the time out to pay attention to what I'm thinking and what I'm feeling, and to get into alignment. And then when I'm there, I'm going to emanate that, because I'll have the energy and I'll have the love to give. And my children will benefit from that, and my children's children will benefit from that, and my children's children's children. And therefore, I will benefit from that, and therefore the world and the collective will benefit from that, because I am making more well-being on the planet. Oh, and by the way, I'm eternal. So I'm going to get to come back and reap the benefits of the well-being I'm planting right now. I do hope you guys found that helpful. Let me know in the comments down below. Till next time, my friends. Namaste.